How you doing, folks? I'm gonna kind of go over how I start doing my tuning process with my bows. I got a 1967.5 Bear Grizzly, 50 pounds. I end up getting some wood arrows for a really good price, and even got another 50-pound Grizzly. That's a little bit late, mid to late 70s model, but I'm going to tune this 1967.5 bow to these wood arrows, because when I shot these wood arrows, they were flying good off a 12-strand string. I'm using a 12-strand as a backup string, and I just got new strings in, and I'm gonna kind of share with you my whole process from start to finish, and it won't be all in one video. So right now I'm in the process of stretching my string out. So the very first thing I do is I go ahead and put everything on the bow that I'm going to silence it down with. I'm using wool, and they're kind of big, look like pom-poms, but after I shoot enough and they get fully out, I'll kind of trim them a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I'll trim them a little bit. Whatever silencers you're going to use, throw them on there. I don't have a side quiver, so I kind of use a back quiver. I'm not saying I won't. I mean, I'm kind of looking into getting back to a side quiver. But needless to say, whatever you're going to use, have it on your bow. As far as silencing and all that, all I'm trying to do is stretch my string out. It takes me about 4 days, roughly, to stretch a string out. Some strings stretch out faster than others and set. But normally this is a B50 14 strand. Usually a B55 takes about 4 to 5 days, and this one should take about right around the same amount of time. I'm looking at about 4 days before I start messing with my knock height and all that. So just on this video here, it's just me shooting, putting everything, all my silencers, my wool puff silencers or whatever silencer material that you like to use. I would go ahead and have it on the bow, because if you try to add it after the fact, after your string is set and fist mill, then it's going to be out away from your brace height that you found your sweet spot. This is all I'm trying to do, is find my little sweet spot in my brace height. Because when I shoot, I ain't worried about where my arrows impact. I'm just trying to get my string to stretch, trying to shoot the bow to get this string to stretch. So I've already got my knock height set from my other Grizzlies. This one's set at about top of knock 5/8. About the center of it's going to be about 9/16, and the bottom will be about a half of that knock. So I kind of know all 3 different spectrums of it. But my brace height, when I put it on there, was at, with a new string without me twisting it, was at about 8 3/8 roughly. A little heavy on 8 3/8. So and the way I measured it was from the deepest part of the throat of my grip to the inside of my string is the way I measure my brace height. I've seen people do it different ways. I found that way to be a little bit more accurate for me, and that's the way I normally do it, and I think most of you do it that way. So I've been doing it that way ever since I started traditional archery, so I'm really not going to change it now. But you know, right now I imagine it's done, the little time I have shot it has been probably stretched about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So it takes a lot of shots to get them to stretch out really good. And some of them, if you get like regular Dacron, I've had them things stretch, and even when I thought I had it set and you know, come back out and shoot again, it'll stretch a whole another 1/2 an inch. And I just usually stay with these older bows. Normally use B55 this go around. The colors I wanted it in was only in B50, so, and my secondary color was only in B50, so I went with a B50 string, actually 2 B50 strings. And but just make sure you get all your silencer material, and I'm gonna leave this thing strung up all night for 4 days. this string ain't even gonna come off except for me to twist my string to get my brace height extended out. So this gives me a chance to play with the whole spectrum of the brace height. The recommended brace height for a grizzly is like 7.5 to 8.5. So I got an inch of plus or minus, maybe a little over an inch, about 1.25 inches of play. I mean, I don't usually like to go too far below it or too far past it. I may go past it 1/4 inch. So it could be anywhere from 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of play I've got to where to find my sweet spot for my particular areas I want to use and all that. So I kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone basically, and I'll find my brace height. You know, I'll get close. It may not be exact, but you know, it'll be close enough to where I won't have to make maybe 1 to 2 twists, at the most 2 twists, to get everything, you know, set in. But you know, I hope this is helpful. You know, whatever you're going to use, but I don't know how y'all stretch y'all strings out, but I know I leave these bows strung up for 4 days, and this is an older bow, and it's not really going to hurt them. And after I'm done stretching my string and all that, it gets, after my 4 days of stretching and it's setting to where it's going to set, I'll take my string off every time after I shoot and restring it and so forth and so on. So I'm not a one to leave them, you know, for 10 to 15 years strung up, you know, and I usually, you know, just take them off every time I shoot after I stretch my string. So I hope this is helpful, and I'm going to try to get me a few shots in and keep stretching my strings. My next video will be probably messing around with my knock height, make sure my knock height is right and all that. So I hope y'all have a great day. Hope this helps, and if you got any comments on how you stretch your strings out, you know, leave them in the comments and give me some feedback on that. All right, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, and God bless.